Hi, I'm Peter Sidwell and welcome to my kitchen. It's time for another delicious recipe taken from our new cookbook, Peter Sidwell's Kitchen. Enjoy. Good morning and welcome to my kitchen. It is that time of day. I am here, ready to cook, and we're honoured. We've got guests today. So we've got Jen from the Trepenna Cheese Company, isn't it?
Trepenna, yes.
And Mark behind the camera, your husband?
Husband?
Yes?
Yeah.
So husband and wife cheese company. Now, full transparency, me and Emily have tried this cheese, and that's why we're bringing it to you, because it's good. Okay? Amazing cheese, so well done.
Thank you very much. Honoured to be here.
Lovely to have amazing products on our doorstep being made. It is brilliant. That's why I moved up here. I've just come back from a weekend away with my family and I took some of your cheese. It was very well received on our table. So thank you for that. But we thought we'd get them in, have a chat, and do some cooking. I've got 2 cheese-themed recipes for you. Cheese, one of my favourite products in the world. It's up there with Marmite, cheese, bread, chocolate, coffee, beer. They're my food groups. I need to try and hit them every day. 6 a day.
You're right.
Right, so first recipe. We'll get on cooking and then we'll start chatting. So I dived deep into the rabbit warren of YouTube the other day and I found a recipe and I've brought it into the kitchen. I've tested it out on Emily. She thought it was weird. It was going to be bizarre, but it turned out all right, didn't it? It did. We haven't got her on a microphone today because Jen's got it. So we need nice, loud Emily today. She's just waiting for cheese. Okay, so let's get started. Now, as I said, it was a bit of a deep dive into YouTube, if you know what I mean.
I am intrigued.
So we're going to make a cheese potato pie, but not bake it. We're going to cook it in a frying pan. We might finish it in the oven, it depends, because we're going to make something else as well. But it starts with bread flour, because we want high gluten, because it's going to be freestanding, okay? So I've got 80 grams, so this will make 1 pie.
Okay.
80 grams. He's keeping me right, because I've got a guest I have to cook over here. So I can't go random. So 80 grams of strong bread flour, a little bit of salt to make sure it's got that sort of savoury flavour. Onion granules. Remember these?
Yeah.
Old-fashioned.
Have some in the cupboard.
Have they been there a long time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you're the same. Onion. So in terms of getting that nice savoury flavour into your pastry or your bread, it's really, really good. I mean, if you just have, it just oozes savoury, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So a little bit of onion powder, and then I've got melted butter that's going in. You could use olive oil. You could use rapeseed oil because it's got a very sort of similar kind of buttery flavour to it. But we like butter. You make butter as well, don't you?
We do make butter, yeah.
And in terms of what you make most of, what do you make most of?
So probably the cheddar. We started with the cheddar. That's our
Isn't it
big
like
seller.
95% of all cheese consumption in the UK is cheddar?
Everyone loves the cheddar, and it's kind of what we started making.
Yeah.
And then we've branched out into soft cheese as well. So we make a white moulded brie. Yeah.
We're going to make something with that.
Yeah.
It's going to be good. You're going to like it. So I've just poured in some milk and then literally mix it together to a dough.
Okay.
So it's really, really simple. Should we like simple, don't we, Emily? Yep. Made a career out of it. Okay, so that's it. Very, very simple. And because it's bread flour, it's a lot stretchier. So don't think pastry. It's not a pastry. It's more like a bread dough. Could you just pass me that flour?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And then we're just going to give it a little knead just to develop the gluten a bit more, okay, before we rest it in the fridge. I have got some that I've made earlier, so we can crack on and keep this recipe moving. So That will do. Tiny little bit of flour, but if you have a feel of that, that's kind of what it should feel like. And I think when you're baking, the tactile sort of approach is really, really important. Because I could say to you, you know, we have viewers from all over the world, and you know, somebody might be sat there in Australia in the burning desert going, hang on, Pete, I need to put more in there because the flour will be warmer, it will absorb more liquid, and it needs to be sort of that nice, soft, pliable texture. On the other hand, we may well have somebody sat there watching in Alaska who lives in a fridge almost, and they will absorb much less liquid because the flour will contract. So it's very much about making sure that your dough, is a certain texture. Could we go close into that, Emily? And if you press it, that's kind of, you want it to be a sort of spring back. You shouldn't stick to it. That's now ready for a 10 to 15 minute rest in the fridge. Let's pop that over there. Okay, so this dough has rested. Now feel the difference.
Oh,
it's cold, it's contracted. The butter's firmed up a little bit in the fridge, but it's ready. And look how stretchy it is now. That's because we've used bread flour. So all we're doing is trying to create something that will encase and hold all your lovely cheese in, okay? Yeah. So, get rolling pin. So tell me, why cheese?
So we have been on a bit of a journey on the farm. We've been running the farm for 10 years. We've made a lot of changes with the cows and the milk that we were producing. We just felt it's organic, it's high in butter, fats and proteins, and we felt that we wanted to add some value to it and sell it as an end product ourselves.
Yeah.
So we...
what were you doing before with the milk?
So it was going to a processor.
So it was going into a cooperative.
Into a big tank,
and coming out in the supermarket milk.
Yes.
Yeah.
And our lovely, rich, organic milk wasn't getting an organic price, and we just we felt we wanted to do something ourselves.
Right.
So we... So
you went on a deep dive on YouTube too, didn't you? And you came out with cheese.
We ended up in the Northwest Highlands, didn't we?
Yeah, so a lovely lady called Kathy Biss came, and we did a few days on the farm with her, and that kind of got us thinking how lovely a product we could make from our milk.
It is a beautiful product, so you've done that.
Yeah, we just went for it. So we converted an old barn into a cheesemaker area, got some equipment, and it all started from then in 2019. Right. Just me and Mark making some cheese.
What was your first block of cheese like?
Was
it a stinker? Or was it all right?
It was actually amazing.
It was fantastically good. That's why we carried on.
I like it.
I think whether it was luck, we just made it, put it in the store, and then got it out in sort of February, March time, and it tasted good. It was really creamy, buttery flavours. I mean, it was obviously quite young then, but
So how old is that cheddar there?
So that one is 6-7 months. So our cheddar is designed to kind of be ready to eat in 5 months.
Right.
We can make tweaks to the recipe for a longer maturing cheddar, but because we're small and we were starting out, we wanted a sort of a quite quickly maturing cheese.
Okay.
And it changes throughout the year as well.
Of course,
The milk changes.
Depending on the grass that the cows are eating.
They're eating,
So how many cows do you have?
We have 130 milking cows at the moment, and then lots of like the young stock on the farm as well. But that's when we became organic. We reduced cow numbers, so there's no pressure on the cows or the farm. A small number. Yeah. That gives us enough to process, and then we sell a little bit extra to the dairy as well.
Yeah. So I've rolled out the pastry. Okay. So it's nice and easy to move around. That's because we've chilled it. Okay. When you chill the pastry, the flour, the gluten and everything just retracts. So it's stretched out and it's like that, and then it just eases back as you let it go. So I've rolled it out, which has stretched it out again. And now it's just easing back, it's relaxing, it's getting ready. And the key to working with pastries and flours and breads is when you've done something to it, let it rest. So when you roll out short crust pastry, let it rest so it can squeeze back before you do anything to it. Between every action on pastry, rest it, and you will get a lovely pastry that doesn't shrink back. It's nice and buttery and crisp, and it'll be perfect. So we'll let that just sit there for a second. I've got a baked potato. This is the only way to cook potatoes for mash for me. Always mashed potato starts with baked potatoes, because if you put potatoes in water, you're diluting all the flavour, you're losing all the starch, all that sort of stuff. Whereas if you bake a potato, it smells really potatoey, and it's light and it's fluffy and it's got all the flavour. And if I break this open, it's dry and floury, yeah, which is what we want. We don't want wet, sludgy, starchy mashed potato. Okay? So I'm just going to quickly squash the potato up. Okay, so we've got a mashed potato, all right? Now, remember, if you want the recipe for this, scan the QR code along the bottom. It will take you to masterclass.co. All our recipes are there. We are on something like episode 70-something. I've now lost count. So there are loads of recipes there for you. We've got loads more episodes to come as well. So please make sure you like Masterclass UK's Facebook page and share it with your friends so everyone else gets to experience these lovely recipes. So, mayonnaise. I know, a bit weird, isn't it? I told you it was a weird one. But it gives a richness to it, okay? So 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise. In we go. Getting a bit weird now, isn't it, Emily? Yes. Mayonnaise and mashed potato. Nigella seeds. Do you use these much?
Not really, no.
A really savoury smell to them. They work really well with cheese. And they were cut through. We did this yesterday, didn't we, and ate it. And you could just, the Nigella seeds just came right through on it. It was a really great addition to it. Okay, so now, star of the show, your cheese. Okay, so I think we should taste it first.
I think we
to
should.
check it's okay. All right. So I'm going to cut this bit. This bit scares my wife and children.
Okay, so yeah, we wrap.
And I'm like, it's fine.
So we wrap the cheeses in bandages.
Yeah.
And then they go into the store, and then this obviously doesn't have the bandage on it. It's formed
I'll let you.
a natural rind.
You're the connoisseur. You'll know how it is, Emily. I know. I won't leave you out. Don't worry. I've left it out a little bit as well to get the flavour going.
It's a good one.
We're good?
Yeah. Lots of, buttery, creamy flavours. Long-lasting.
If anyone wants to buy your cheese, where's the best place? And bearing in mind, we have people all over the world watching these days, so...
Yeah, so we have an online...
Don't ask them to knock on your door at the farm.
Well, we have a small shop on the farm, but we have an online shop, so our website.
Okay, so what is the website?
trepennaorganic.co.uk.
Right.
Spelt Torpenhow.
What is this all about? What is Trepenna and Torpenhow all about?
The village that we farm in is called Trepenna to the locals, but it is spelt Torpenhow.
Yeah.
And no one really knows
why
it got shortened to Trepenna, but...
So there's no logical reason?
Cumbrian reason. So the village is named... So Tor, Pen, and How are all names for hill.
Oh, are they?
3 different settlers would have come along.
So you would think Emily, being a Cumbrian, would know all this. She's the only Cumbrian here. Are you Cumbrian?
I'm Cumbrian.
You are.
I'm Trepenna, born and bred.
Yeah. Well, there's 2 of you. You're probably related. You dig deep enough, they are. It's only me and you that are diluting it, you know. Right, so I've mixed in your cheese. Okay. Now. Thank you. Try my best. Try to keep you happy. Okay, in with the cheese.
I love this.
And then we're just going to flatten this out. Is this kind of thing I'm going to get the pan on as well.
Happy.
Okay. I think this is a great recipe. You know when you buy like loads of cheese for the weekend, you have an amazing cheese board. You always end up with little bits of everything. these recipes that we've created, and we're going to also do another episode later on, are perfect for using up. This cheese for me is an eating cheese. Buy a chunk of it, put it on a chopping board with some others and enjoy it. And then when you get to sort of this stage, this is when you start to cook with, this is when I start to cook with these sort of cheeses and things like that, is just use it all up and bring it all together with some lovely recipes. And by making this dough, it just kind of wraps itself around all these lovely flavours. So what we're going to do now is draw it up. Okay, so you draw it up like a little money bag. And you're going to scrimp it all up into the middle. And we want everything so it'll stretch. This is why we've used bread flour and not standard flour. Press it down. Okay, we'll get some flour. Little bits of flour. You don't need loads. Okay, and now, smack bang in the centre of this pastry, we've got all that lovely cheese, we've got potato, we've got nigella seeds, and a little bit of mayonnaise, which will give it a rich creaminess. This cheese is going to love being in the centre of that.
It is.
Okay, but when we made this yesterday and tested it out, it was like all of a sudden, it was like, oh, you could put this in it, you could put that in it, you could go like this, you could put pizza inside there, you know, cheese, tomato, mozzarella, salami, all sorts of stuff. You could even take some leftover curry, shred it all up with some mango chutney, put that in, it'll be amazing. The possibilities are endless. It's a fridge clearer. You can clear the fridge. So, yep, that'll do. It's about right. So now you can see it's about 1 centimetre thick, okay? And I think you could probably freeze these like this.
Okay.
Get them out and then cook them. No problem. Now, you could bake this in the oven, absolutely no problem at all. But we're going to cook it in the pan so that you can see everything going nice and golden. So, let me just grab tiny little bit of butter. Hot non-stick pan. Now, I'm using a crepe pan because I can see everything going on. You could use a frying pan, absolutely no problem at all. Okay, let's whack the oven on because I'm going to pop it into the oven and let it cook while we do some other things. Now, if you've any questions at all, please do post them in the comments below. I am here to help you, whether it's to do with the kitchen, whether it's to do with the cheese or the recipes, whatever that might be. Please do post them in there and I will be all over it like a rash for you. Now, straight into the pan. Perfect fit. And give it a little shake because we want to know that it's not going to stick. All right? Can you see that all right, Emily? Are you happy with your camera angles? Am I behaving? Good. Right, so we'll have a little tidy up. Now, we tasted this, as I said yesterday, and it was like, right, it needs something because it's super rich and delicious in there. And it's all good. But we were like, oh yeah, it just needs something. So I thought we would pickle some red onions in lime juice. Cheese, onion, what's not to love, okay? Yeah. But the acidity will cut the richness beautifully. And your cheese is rich and creamy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because of the milk you use. So I'm just going to show you a very quick way to do that. So if I just grab my chopping board, and while I'm doing that, I would love to know how you actually make cheese, all right? Because I have made cheese before, but only ricotta.
Okay.
So like young, fresh cheese, it's ready in an hour kind of cheese. Whereas your cheese, you make it, put it away for 6 months,
yeah, it has
cross your fingers, and hope.
Well, there is a bit of looking after it in the store as well, which we've learnt over the years.
Okay, right, just get my onion and I'll start slicing.
With making cheese, you're essentially trying to recreate what's happening in a calf's stomach, which maybe doesn't sound very appetizing. But you want to add the cultures, the rennet, and it's about getting it to the right temperature.
Right.
And just letting those cultures do their magic.
Right.
So you're basically
So you warm milk, don't you?
Yeah, so we warm the milk up.
That's
so
what
we
it
actually
starts with, isn't it?
pasteurize our milk as well.
Right.
So our first step is pasteurization, and then it goes into a vat where we add the cultures, which are going to give it the flavor, and that's going to convert the lactose in the milk into the lactic acid. So,
right.
Yeah, we're wanting to get the right cultures growing, basically, in the milk.
That's not the rennet bit then, is it?
No.
Right.
So
See, I didn't know about the cultures.
Yeah, we add the cultures first, and let them, sort of.
And is that something you add and then take out and sort of keep it going, or?
No, we add it each time.
Right. Okay.
And then then you add the rennet and leave that to set.
And that's where the curd and the whey separates, isn't it?
So that's where the curds are formed, and then we cut it. So that will separate the curds and the whey. Then we drain the whey off. And with the whey, we actually feed it back to our calves. So we'll drain that off the table, and it will go back in fed to any young stock we have.
Okay.
Or pigs, if we have pigs. So then you're sort of entering the cheddaring stage of the cheese. So the curds will all then start to knit together. It's amazing to watch because it's kind of doing it in front of your very eyes.
Right.
They're just, the curds knit all back together.
Excuse me, 1 second. Hold that
That's
thought.
okay.
Right, time to flip.
Good.
There we go. So you can see it's just toasting up. It's absorbed some of the butter, just crisping up, so it is like super easy. This would be good camping stuff, this.
It would.
You know, if you're out camping, you want to cook something delicious, this will be a good one for you. So I've sliced the red onions, and now you can pickle in I'm pickling lime juice because I just think that fruity zing works so well. Whereas some people will pickle in vinegar, which is absolutely fine. Red wine vinegar is delicious with it. Cider vinegar, white wine vinegar. That acidity just takes the harshness and the edge off the raw red onion. But I'm a massive fan with lime because it's really good, isn't it? Yeah. We do it a lot. Works really well. And once you've got the lime juice in there, squeeze it into the red onions. Okay? And this isn't a long pickle. This is a short pickle, so they'll be ready in like 5 minutes. But this isn't going to keep forever. This will keep for a week in the fridge. So, and by sheer nature of it, it takes a couple of minutes to do. So you don't need to do loads of it. But if you were pickling these for a long time, you want to put them into a pan with vinegar, bring them up to the boil, switch it off, pour them into a jar, put the lid down, and then you'll have them for ages. But like I say, this is a really quick, raw red onion and lime pickle, just to contrast with our lovely cheese pie. So sorry to interrupt.
That's fine.
We were talking curds, weren't we?
We're talking curds, so then you're essentially wanting to get all the whey out of the curd. So that it will go into a store and mature. You don't want the whey still to be in there. It's a process of chopping, stacking, and then we cut it back up into small pieces. Right. Salt it for the flavour. Yeah. And then we press it. So we make big 12-kilo rounds and they go into a press overnight to get any excess whey that's in it. So you've really got to push all that moisture out, and then it's the aging process. Yeah. So the process from start to finish is sort of 6 hours, a sort of 6-hour make. And how often do you make cheese? So we make it pretty much Monday to Friday. Yeah. Some days we'll do 2 makes of cheese, makes of cheddar, and a brie make as well. Right. And how do you make that differently? So it's slight... Different enzymes? So we'll introduce a white mould culture. Right. And it's a much gentler process. So we don't... And how old is that cheese? So that's about 3 weeks. So it's ready to eat in 2 weeks. Yeah. This actual one here has had extra cream put back into it. Right. Which was a trial, which really worked. So I think we'll be doing it again. Nice. So yeah. First time taster for this one. Yeah. Is it? Oh, right. Brilliant. Okay. Well, we'll get to that one. We'll get to that for sure. Okay. So you can see here. Shall I put it on here, Emily? Is that all right? Does that make you happy? Yeah.
So
lovely.
it's toasted there, and because of the gluten, it's held. It's not split. So please, if you're going to make this, it's so important to use bread making flour or strong protein flour, okay? And that way it will hold together. But if you don't, it will split and the filling will escape. But there you go, it's cooked. All right? Ready to try it?
Yes.
So like your cheese, we only tried this recipe yesterday. And we nailed it first time, didn't we? So
The cheese.
yeah. So all we do is we cut it. Now I think if you can, wait. Don't worry, Mark, we're not going to wait. It's all right. If you can wait, because it will be really hot in the middle, but for the sake of television, we're not going to wait. This is a really good kind of Sunday evening. Kids have gone to bed. Sofa, glass of wine. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to take a few of these and just sit them on top there so that you can have a proper good taste of it. Oh, everyone's ready.
It's so pretty.
Well, these are a game changer. Once you've tried these, you'll want them. You do. Once you've squeezed the lime in to speed it up, bruise them a bit and push it in, and then the onions just give out and let the lime juice in, and then you've just got this fruity, tangy, oniony flavour, and it just works so well. Right, let me grab you a plate. Just left, there we go. There's one for you to try. I will get you a knife and fork if you need it, but if you're all right. Mark's off camera, so he's just going to inhale it. That's all right. Emily's off camera, so she's all right. There's only me and you that have got to try and not.
Oh, it's good.
There you go, Emily. Mark's is nearly gone, so we're just going to put another one down there. There you go.
Oh, wow, that onion is so good with it.
So, as I said before, if you want the recipe, scan the QR code along the bottom. It will take you straight to masterclass.co. You will get the recipe here. We will also put links to the guy's website where you can buy the cheese and have it delivered to your door if you want. Or, if you are up in the Lake District, on your holidays this summer, all the farm shops around the area and things like that?
Lots of local village shops. Cranston's sell it.
Right.
Lots of local butchers. Harrison's Butchers.
So T-Bay on the M6 service station, the amazing farm shop, you can get it there. Cranston's at Penrith. If you're pulling off the M6 to go to the Lake District, the amazing Cumbrian supermarket, you can get it there. And then lots of farm shops in and around Keswick, isn't it? And
Keswick, Cheese
West.
Deli.
Yeah, Cockermouth Butchers and things like that.
Yeah.
So there's loads of places where you can get your hands on it. So thank you very much. We're going to crack on with the next recipe.